Oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't think this is how you do a side pony. My face should be over here. Like this should be a profile. Like this should, then it would make sense. It's like 80s teen horror film. Okay, I adjusted it. Although now it looks like a off-centered regular ponytail. There, that's how you wear a crown. They didn't teach you that in princess school? Who cares about your hair? Just talk about art. We're talking about art now. End of fall, going into winter. So there's going to be fall colors, fall leaves, fall vibes. But also I'm like making some time to do some writing this week. So we're going to illustrate maybe croissants, coffee, lots of books, paper, pens, writer stuff.
La donna attraversò il villaggio finché non trovò un caffè dove si trovavano artisti e poeti. Prenderò un gelato al melone.
Hello loves, we're going to finally finish our November bujo spread. The way that I've been doing it actually is having just like a regular morning art practice. So I'll wake up, make some tea, have breakfast. I'll do like a few illustrations, just whatever I have time for. And it's a really good way for me to sort of use my creative energy. I find that the morning, especially early morning, I have the most creative energy. And then I see clients and promote my classes and like do my thing and make money and do my life. And then sometimes in the afternoon, if I don't have any classes or sessions like after 4 p.m., then I will kind of get cozy in bed, maybe take like a little nap, and then I'll wake up and just like draw some more in this bullet journal in bed, which has been so nice. So that's kind of like a little treat and like a nice way to sort of wind down the end of my day. So that's sort of how I've been doing this. I've kind of gone a little overboard with some of the illustrations, very detailed for a bullet journal, which basically serves the purpose of like tracking what you're doing that day. I also use it as like a habit tracker and health tracker. So I track my sleep in the beginning of the day. I like look at when I went to bed, when I woke up, how many hours of sleep I got, the quality of my sleep, when I finished my caffeine the day before. And so I kind of keep track and like see, I'm like looking for patterns, you know, of like, oh, if I finish caffeine at this time, does it keep me up till this time? Caffeine tends to stay in your system for 13 hours. So depending on how strong your caffeine source is, you may feel the effects of that more than other sources. I stick to like black and green tea, even though I love the taste of coffee. I just feel like coffee kind of keeps me up and keeps me wired, and it's harder to focus. It's like I have tons of mental energy, but it's kind of scrambling all over the place, or I'll go really gung-ho in like one project that's actually not important to do that day at all, that I fall behind in other things I'm doing. So I'm trying to monitor my sleep and my caffeine and notice patterns and kind of adjust accordingly. If you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, I've actually just started a tea podcast. So that's something at my little $1 tier at my Patreon, which you're welcome to check out. It's just called the Green Witch Tea Podcast, and it's all about like herbal remedies and caffeine teas and like the lengths of time to steep different teas and like what types of green and black teas go well with what herbs and flowers and other dried fruits and stuff. So anyways, if you're really into tea like I am, maybe you'll like that. And if you don't drink tea at all, maybe you won't care. But anyways, so today I had some, what kind of tea? Oh, I just had like a plain green tea with honey and oat milk. And I just finished that, and now I'm going to finally finish this bullet journal. Not the whole journal, but the November spread. So what I want to do today is do some little touch-ups. I keep glancing to this corner because that's where my bullet journal is. So I'm like looking at it and thinking about it as I'm talking to you. So that's why. Okay, let me show you. So I have like these italic inks and like gel pens and, sorry, not italic, metallic, they're metally. They meddle in your life. They meddle with your metals while you're drinking your nettles. Anyways, they're gel pens and they're sparkly and they're metallic. You can write in italic with them, but they're not automatically italic because that has more to do with your hand-eye coordination. But what I was trying to tell you about them before I got distracted by my own grammatical errors was that when you draw with new gel pens, they're super wet and runny and messy, and they kind of make big blobs, and they're very hard to control. I actually like, in general, when doing any kind of like ink work or working with ink pens, especially brush pens and gel pens, I actually like when my pens are like halfway through their life because they let out an appropriate amount of ink. It's like not too dry, not too wet. You can actually work with it. You can actually control the amount that's coming out and the line. But that is not the case because these are pretty new. As you can see, they're like pretty full. The gold's kind of getting there, kind of getting towards halfway, but it's still really letting out a lot. So what happens is when I draw with these on my bullet journal spreads, it goes over like the line I'm trying to make, and it actually kind of crosses into areas that I don't want the ink to be, especially if I'm like, when I'm outlining the words, it kind of eats into the black ink of that word, and it makes it look funky. So what I want to do is go over it with a micron pen, the most reliable of pens. Micron pens are like, and this is not product placement, this is just like common art knowledge. Micron pens are very consistent in the amount of ink they let out, and they have like a, like a chiseled shape, and so they're pretty reliable and predictable in terms of like knowing what it's going to look like when you draw with them. The only time that goes awry is when your micron pen actually gets bent as you draw, and then you can, like if you're drawing with your hand at too much of an angle, you can actually bend the tip of the micron pen, like the ink felt tip part, and then you don't get as consistent of a line. So ideally, if you're drawing with microns, you want to kind of have your hand like right on top of the pen, like have it. This all sounds very dirty. I should try to talk about art. It's so difficult. Art is porn. Have you heard that before? I think that's a saying from the 70s. Okay, too much Andy Warhol documentary series in my mind. Here we go. Moving on. I'm going to thicken these lines with the Micron pen so that they are clean and look better. And then in certain areas where I didn't put the gold ink because I was afraid of it bleeding in too much, I'm going to try and very lightly put it in there, or actually have like an older gold pen that's almost out. So I think I'm going to do a combo of like trying to use my super old one and see if I can control the amount that comes out. And then if not, I'll use the new one. And I don't even know. Maybe I'll like try to wipe the remaining ink up with a tissue. Again, so dirty. Art is so dirty. Okay, that's what we're doing today. We're just trying to clean things up so that it looks nice for the reveal that will be coming shortly. I'm going to film a special reveal for you guys tomorrow. I don't know that you need to know that because you're going to see it in like 30 seconds. TMI with Justine Lucas. Dirty art pen talk with Justine Lucas. Referring to herself in third person at all times. Royal we with Justine Lucas. I think I say we are going to do this and we're going to do that. But it's just because I'm so royal and I feel like you're so royal and like together we're extra royal. So we have to use the royal we when talking about ourselves.
C'est-tu loin l'aéroport de où est-ce que vous allez?
I really like how it turned out. It's like very kind of like calming and simple and relaxing and not very distracting. I think it's going to enhance my task writing experience and not be too distracting from it. So I did something really different for this spread. I used a very limited palette. I only used 5 colors. All of the colors are sort of like in the same range. They have high contrasting value, but they're all in the same like hue range. Thank you so much for watching this extremely long vlog with lots of drawing footage. I am so glad that you guys were able to accompany me on this journey. I would like to do another one of these for my December spread. It may not be as detail-oriented and have as many intensely decorated weeks, but who knows, because once I get started, it's really hard to stop. So maybe it will be even crazier. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you like this video, you are welcome to subscribe to my channel and like the video below. And I have a Patreon if you want to hear podcasts about tea or see some posts about my art practices. I do like journal posts and stuff, so you can look at that. Oh, I also mail things, pictures of things, and I mail it to you with poems and song lyrics, and it's just very artsy and dorky and wonderful. And I am wishing you a very cozy November and a lovely journaling or drawing or music or dance or yoga or walking session, whatever you are doing at this very moment. I hope that this has helped sparkle up your royal environment, and I will see you next time.